Hi class, this is William Anderson again. In this short video, I want to talk to you about something called organizational templates. In the previous video, we went over how to organize your informative speech. And a major part of that speech was something we call main points. You remember these are topic development in support of the thesis. Here, we want each main point to strengthen that central claim or thesis. We also want every main point in an informative speech to actually inform your audience. You want to provide your audience with information that they will find interesting and useful. Now, these organizational templates are entirely optional. They're simply strategies that you can use to organize your main points consistent with how people have been trained to learn. Most members of your audience will come from experience having been in school before and been exposed to media outlets. These sorts of background sources have effectively trained our brain to learn and take in information in certain ways. As public speakers, it makes sense for us to want to piggyback on that. So while these are entirely optional strategies, you're not going to be, for example, in class, you're not going to be graded down for not using them or graded up for using them. However, they can be very, very useful for you. Also, I just want to reiterate, speeches given in class are effectively practice for the speeches that are out there. So as we talk about all of these things, always remember, this is to prepare you to be a more effective advocate out in the real world. So, while there are many organizational templates that exist, I want to talk to you about 4 very commonly used ones. The first one is called Chronological. Chronological organizes your main points based upon the order of time. So, for example, it could be past, present, future, or early, middle, late, or before, during, after, first, second, third. You get the idea. Anytime we organize our main points to be based upon the order of time or the passage of time, it's chronological. Chrono, of course, meaning time. The second strategy is something called solvency. Solvency organizes your main points based upon problems, solutions, benefits. So in the first main point, you're going to identify problems, something that needs to be fixed or solved. In the second main point, you're going to attempt to solve those problems by offering solutions, a plan, if you will, for fixing that need or satisfying that need. And then in the third one, benefits, helping your audience visualize what happens when your plan is done. Now, in addition to being introduced to solvency in schools and such, every single time you've ever listened to a commercial on television or the radio, this pattern is fired in your brain. So, for example, many of you may have seen commercials like this. I hope you can see the cursor. I'm going to point at each section as I go through it. First, the problems. You'll see the voiceover will say, have you ever been tired? Have you ever been hungry? You might have, fill in the name of some scary disease, and it could kill you. Then the solution. This little pill has been found to help solve those symptoms, give you energies, and extend your life, and all of a sudden you see the patient in the park playing with their kids, smiling, while the narrator goes over some of the unfortunate side effects. In the next commercial, you might see a young woman in black and white having a bad hair day, frowning, a big stack of bills on the counter, and the voiceover says something like, is your life not going as you expected? Do you have more bills than you have money? Have you lost respect from your friends? And then on solution, call ITT Technical Institute or Western Business College or the name of any other trade school, and all of a sudden you see that same woman. She's in an office now, presumably employed, smiling, happy, joking with her friends, and she's in color. Her hair looks great, and all of a sudden all those problems are gone. So the problem, solutions, benefits is effective anytime there is a persuasive element to your informative speech. Number 3 is spatial. Spatial organizes your main points based upon geography or physical space. So for example, If you're giving a speech about the state of Oregon, you could talk about the rural east, the mountainous center, and the urban and suburban west. Or if you're giving a speech about the Disneyland theme park, you could talk about the different sections of the theme park. If you're giving a speech about a computer motherboard, you could talk about the different parts of the motherboard. You get the idea. Finally, number 4 is topical. Topical is breaking the topic down based on subtopics or types. So for example, if you're giving your speech about music, you could talk about different types of music or different musicians. If it's about sports, you could talk about different sports. Now, if you use the topical, the order of the main points is not really prescribed by the strategy itself. Like chronological, it's about past, present, future, for example. Solvency is problem, solutions, benefits. You wouldn't put the solutions before the problems. In topical, how you organize these subtopics or types is entirely at your discretion. So I urge you, always put the most important one first, the least important in the middle, and the second most important last. The reason for doing this is your audience will tend to remember your first main point the longest, so have that be the most important one. They'll tend to forget the stuff in the middle the fastest, so have that be the least important one, and the last main point will be the one they hold on the second longest. So that's where your second most important should go. Again, please keep in mind these organizational templates are entirely optional, not only in class, but out in the real world where it's important. We include this simply because these are effective strategies for organizing your main points, and they can be used at your discretion. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the next video.